All right, today we're going to reframe 5 so-called rebellious traits. Now, according to psychology, these aren't flaws at all. They're actually powerful signs of independent thinking. So let's dive right in.
So, let me just ask you something right off the bat. Have you ever been called stubborn or difficult? Maybe even a rebel? If you're kind of nodding your head right now, then you are in exactly the right place.
I know, those labels, they don't usually feel like a compliment. But what if we've been looking at them completely wrong? What if they aren't insults at all, but are actually compliments in disguise, pointing to a real hidden strength?
And this is where it gets really fascinating. Psychology suggests we should make a little shift in our perspective, away from rebellion and towards evaluation. You see, these behaviors often aren't about causing trouble. They're actually a sign of a highly intelligent mind at work.
Think about it like this. On one side, you've got blind compliance. That's just following the rules without question, almost like a machine. But on the other side, you have logical evaluation, that very human need to analyze, to understand, and then to act. That is the huge difference we're exploring today.
And this brings us right to the heart of it, independent thinking. This is not about being defiant just for the sake of it. It's about a fundamental need to check out the logic of a system or a rule before you go along with it. See, intelligent people don't just follow. They need to understand the why first.
Okay, so how does this independent thinking actually show up in real life? Well, we're going to break down 5 specific traits that get misunderstood all the time. Let's start unpacking this rebel mindset, one trait at a time.
All right, first up, this trait is often seen as a direct challenge, but it's really something else entirely.
So the common misconception is that you're just questioning authority to be difficult. But the reality? Oh, it's so much more constructive. You're actually seeking justification. And that little shift in wording, well, it changes everything.
At the end of the day, seeking justification is all about that deep drive to understand the why. When an independent thinker asks, hey, why do we do it this way? It's not a challenge. It's a genuine request for the logic, to make sure the rule actually makes sense.
And that leads us perfectly into our second trait, which is another classic misunderstanding.
Oh boy, this is one I'm sure we've all heard before, being called stubborn. But what if it's not about being stubborn at all? What if it's really about committing to logic? This isn't an emotional thing, it's an intellectual one. See, committing to logic just means you're holding a position, not because you're inflexible, but because the other side's argument just doesn't have the evidence or the reasoning to back it up. It's not stubbornness, it's about intellectual integrity.
Okay, on to number 3. Now, this is a trait that can definitely get people into a bit of hot water, especially in places with a lot of rules. The misconception is that you simply dislike rules. But what's actually happening under the surface? Well, the independent thinker is busy identifying inefficiency. They just see a better, faster, or more logical way to get something done.
This is all about optimization, really. It's a tendency to challenge or maybe even bend rules that are just illogical, outdated, or create pointless roadblocks. It's not about causing chaos, it's about finding the most effective path to get to the goal. Next up, this independent mindset doesn't just affect how we act, it also totally shapes how we communicate. And that brings us to number 4. Ever been told you're maybe a little too blunt? Or that you can be argumentative? Yeah, another big misunderstanding. The reality is, a person like this is simply prioritizing truth, sometimes over social pleasantries.
This whole style of communicating comes from valuing accuracy and directness above all else. The core belief here is that a good, healthy debate is actually the quickest way to get to the best answer. It's not about fighting, it's a tool for finding the truth together. And that brings us to our 5th and final trait. For this one, let's head into the workplace, because this is where one of the biggest misunderstandings happens all the time.
The label you hear a lot is resisting management. But if you actually look closer, what that person is really expressing is a need for something else entirely. They are requiring autonomy. This has nothing to do with insubordination. It's about needing the right kind of environment to really thrive.
And let's be super clear, this isn't about disrespect. It's about the need for freedom from being micromanaged. Independent thinkers just need that space for creative problem solving and that deep focus where the real breakthroughs happen.
Whew, okay. So we've gone through all 5 of these traits. Let's pull it all together. What's the big takeaway here? How can we use this new perspective to actually nurture this kind of thinking?
So here's the bottom line.
all these so-called rebellious traits are often just powerful signals that a mind is evaluating logic instead of just blindly following orders. And that is a huge marker of high intelligence. So the ultimate takeaway is this. Let's stop trying to fix these traits in people and in ourselves and start seeing them for the strengths they really are.
And so, I want to leave you with one final thought. After looking at all of this through this new lens, which one of these rebellious traits are you going to start seeing as your own personal superpower?